Hello everyone, welcome to Spoon Feed. Today we have a delightful Greek dish on the menu that some would claim is better than a hero, moussaka. Greek casserole is a true comfort food classic made with layers of eggplant, ground meat, and a creamy bechamel sauce. So let's get started. Before we dive into the cooking process, make sure to hit that subscribe button and smash that like button for us. And now let's get started with our moussaka. We're going to begin by prepping our ground beef. Bring your pan up to heat and then add 2 tablespoons of oil and half of a diced onion. We want to saute this till they're just translucent. As always, a little bit of salt to help them release some of that moisture and get them going. Next, add in 3 cloves of crushed garlic and give it a mix. Once your onions are translucent and your garlic fragrant, add in 1.5 pounds of ground beef. Saute the beef using a spatula to break any of those large chunks. We want a fine mince. Once your beef has been browned and released some of their fat, create a small well in the center and add in roughly 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. Saute them into the fat at the bottom with the help of a spatula to take off that raw edge and then combine with the beef, allowing the beef to get coated with all of that color and flavor. Next, we're going to add in half a teaspoon of ground cumin and half a teaspoon of thyme and saute again for a couple of minutes till they're incorporated. Next, add in 1 bay leaf. We're now going to season our meat with some salt and freshly ground black pepper and 1 teaspoon of brown sugar. Next, we're going to add 1 cup of crushed tomatoes. I'm using San Marzano tomatoes here, but feel free to puree any fresh tomatoes and add them in. Our next ingredient is to add in a cup of red wine. Get that wine, tomatoes and meat all mixed in together. And now add in 2 cups of beef stock. One final mix and set this up on low heat uncovered for 45 minutes. Now let's grate some cheese that we will be using in our bechamel. I'm using pecorino today. When trying to get a block of cheese rather than the pre-grated ones, it's always better to grate your own cheese. You're going to need roughly 100 grams of this. But before we get to cooking our bechamel, let's start with prepping our eggplants. Cut off the stem off the top and then cut them into thick half-inch slices vertically. We're going to be dry brining these on a baking dish lined with some paper towels. This will help the eggplants release any excess moisture plus get rid of their bitterness. Lay them on a baking sheet and sprinkle them with salt on one side and then turn them to the other side and repeat. Set these aside for 10 minutes. Back to our bechamel. In a saucepan, heat up 1 stick of butter till just melted. Now add in 120 grams of flour, giving it a constant mix, keeping your heat on low to medium till we form a roux. We want to form a light golden brown color and nothing further. We're now going to add in 4 cups of milk, adding in half a cup at a time till they're incorporated with the roux. At one point it got too thick and I felt a whisk would be more appropriate for our purposes. Once we're about 2 cups in, add in the last 2 cups all in at once, albeit gradually while constantly whisking. Let this cook for about 5 minutes till it slowly begins to thicken. After 5 minutes, add in half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of ground nutmeg and a quarter teaspoon of white pepper. Allow the sauce to thicken up, which should roughly take another 3 to 4 minutes. Then kill the heat and transfer your bechamel into a bowl. Now we're going to add in about 90 grams of a grated pecorino cheese and whisk it till they're all combined. Now I screwed up and had a real pain in the ass whisking it in a small bowl, so I transferred it into a larger bowl. Now to make this all the more richer and unhealthier, I'm going to add 2 egg yolks into it and whisk them till they're combined. And our bechamel is now ready. In 10 minutes and our eggplants have now released that moisture. Grab a paper towel and pat them dry. Take another pan and add in some vegetable oil for frying. Add in 1 sliced potato and fry them till they're golden brown and cook through on both sides. Once fried, set them aside in a bowl lined with paper towel to soak any of that excess oil dripping from them. We're now going to fry our eggplants. Add in your eggplants and be careful of any splatter coming from these. Fry them till they form a nice brown color on one side, which will take roughly 3 to 4 minutes, and then flip and repeat on the other side. Also, your eggplants will soak up a lot of oil while frying, so make sure to have enough oil for multiple batches. Drain these in a sheet lined with some paper towels. Once you have all of your eggplants fried up, it's time to assemble. Our meat has cooked for up to 45 minutes and is now off the heat. You can see all the liquid from the stock and the wine has reduced, and we have something almost like a ragu. Mix it up with some pasta if you want and you'll have a very delicious bolognese with a Greek twist at this point. Grab yourself a deep baking dish and begin by lining up your potatoes. Potatoes aren't called for in the traditional recipe, but I did see some recipes using them, and hey, who doesn't love potatoes? Definitely not me. Once you've got your potatoes layered, add in 2 layers of your fried eggplant, and don't bother too much if they overlap each other. Next, spoon in copious amounts of the ground meat, spreading it evenly across edge to edge of the dish. Now pour in that thick bechamel all over the top, giving it a layer of that creamy goodness that is so good on your palate, but so effed up for your heart. Finally, sprinkle in the leftover cheese before placing it in a preheated oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius and bake this for 30 minutes. The moussaka is out of the oven and it looks amazing. The cheese we added has formed a beautiful golden crust over the top. I'm going to add some parsley over the top and we're now done. Now it's important to let it rest for about 15 minutes before slicing into it. This will allow the flavors to melt together and make it easier to serve. Grab yourself a slice or 2 of this pie and dig into it. I couldn't resist for too long and went right in. A homemade moussaka with its layers of savory goodness and creamy bechamel sauce. The dish that's perfect for family gatherings or when you're craving a taste of Greek cuisine. Thank you for joining us today for this mouth-watering moussaka recipe. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more delicious recipes like this one. Don't forget to leave your comments and questions below, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.